Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Well, or good afternoon. Time has changed. So I definitely know it's afternoon on the East Coast and good evening to Nomalanga because it's nighttime for her. So, hey, I'm Dr. LaNée. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. Today we're talking about Hanifa founder, Anifa, and I'm going to completely ruin her last name. I think it's Mvuemba, and the pressure that comes with being a Black woman running a public brand. After backlash over shipping delays from a major sale, she announced that the brand is pressing pause. In her statement, she acknowledged that timeline shifted and that customers should have been updated sooner. However, she also made it clear the brand did not abandon its customers and worked to fulfill orders. What really stood out was what she said about the emotional toll of the situation. She explained that founder-led brands face a different level of scrutiny and that when you're a Black woman, the margin for grace is even thinner. So today we're talking about the pressure Black women founders carry when they're building businesses in public. Now I'm going to read you a quote from her. This is a conversation with the founder in her own words. In her message to customers, Mvuemba wrote, "We're pressing pause. The last season stretched us in ways I'm still processing. There's been a lot of learning, a lot of responsibility, a lot of growth happening in real time." She also acknowledged mistakes. When timelines started shifting, some customers should have known sooner. She said 1000%. She added, "Two things can be true at the same time. We did not abandon our customers and we did not execute perfectly. Both are true." I'm okay with taking responsibility. That's okay. That's me. That's my own little insight. I'm okay with taking responsibility. She also spoke about the emotional toll of the situation. You can hold someone accountable without being cruel. And she made a point about founder-led brands. Founder-led brands operate under a different kind of scrutiny. And when you're a Black woman, the margin for grace is thinner. In the chat, let me know, are you familiar with this brand? Are you familiar with this story? Are you aware of what's going on? And then to my panelists, we are joined today by myself. Hey, yo, what's up? I am brand your brilliant strategist and business coach, Dr. LaNée. We have Aisha Verzi, financial services expert, and Nomalanga, our 3M specialist, marriage, motherhood, and money making in the house. All Black women, all entrepreneurs. So I'm just going to start out with the obvious. Is the margin for Black women business owners thinner when it comes to grace? Aisha, will begin with you. You're on mute, sweetie.
Sorry about that. Good morning, everyone.
No worries.
I think I would say it's on both sides. It just depends on preparation. And the people that actually criticize you the most are actually your own people because they're upset. So really it's your own people that actually criticizing and causing all the ruckus out there. So yeah, unfortunately, sometimes we do get a hit more from our own people.
All right. What about you, Nomalanga?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We definitely don't get as much grace. And unfortunately, it seems like we suffer from this takedown syndrome. We have these two very far extremes. One extreme is we really go hard for each other and support each other and love it when we're successful. And then there's all the way other on the other end of the spectrum where there's this kind of disease where it's one of us and you just gotta take her down. You gotta say she's not doing it right. You gotta spread rumors. I mean, it gets really, really nasty. And I'm not just saying it, I have seen it happen over and over and over again. So we don't have that as much of that middle ground. We just have those two extremes, unfortunately.
Oh, let me ask you. I'll ask you one more question. Do you think it's just Black women, or is it Black business owners in general? Because I'll let you answer. Actually, no, I'll go. When I think about Black entrepreneurs, when I think about Black business owners. I feel as if it's not just a woman thing, it is a Black business owner thing, where we feel as if our businesses have to go above and beyond, do bigger, do better, do more than anybody else. We accept craziness from other people more and are okay with it more so than we do our own, without even really truly knowing and understanding the dire constraints and obstacles and barriers that Black businesses are up against. And I'm not giving us an excuse. I'm not saying that it's okay for Black business to operate that way. I'm not. But I am saying you accept it from McDonald's or Fashion Nova or whatever other company it is. And then when it's us, it's like, I knew a Black business was going to operate that way. That's why I'm saying businesses, when it could just be, hey, let me give this business some grace, because the reality is we have to jump through more hoops than other businesses. So do you think that it is a Black woman issue or a Black entrepreneur issue? Aisha, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's a Black entrepreneur issue in the sense that collectively as a group, whatever we're trying to do, and we're actually out in public, there's this extreme scrutiny, right? Coming from others and also our people. And then there's also a preconceived notion that we know what to expect automatically, just because it's a Black establishment. If I go there, there's probably not going to be good customer service. They're probably not going to do ABC. So you're already going with a preconceived notion. So when you go there, that's what you find, because that's what you're looking for. And then of course, now you go out and explode and make it more than it is. Like you say, so true. If you go other places, you just back off and just wait and not say anything. But if it's a Black one, you start rolling your eyes and screaming at them and saying and start actually insulting them right there and there as well. I've seen it too, and it's something I just walk away, because I think it's unfair that you go to an establishment that's owned by a Black person. You can tell that they're trying so hard, and then you come with a preconceived notion, and then you're yelling at them, and they also get upset because you're being unreasonable, right? So
I think to your point, when you walk in with the preconceived notion, like you're already expecting something, so when it happens, you're like, I knew it. And or you're looking at it from a microscopic point of view. So anything and everything is like, there it is, there, I knew it, right?
Yep.
Nomalanga, what about you?
Yeah, it's definitely not just women, it's men and women, but I do think it's a little more severe with the women, because I mean, I've seen it get really nasty to the point where some people had to close their businesses down, take breaks. And it was because the business was tough. It was because the normal cycle of entrepreneurship is it's up and down, you win some, you lose some, and all of that. But sometimes the burden actually comes down to, I just can't do this. I cannot serve my people, unfortunately, and I have to back away. They'll get a job or something, or start a new market or something. I've seen it too often to say anything else.
All right, cool. Let's go to our video. Let's look at our first video, and then we're going to keep having this conversation. We'll dive deeper.
But because they don't have the money to make the product upfront. If you are going into Black Friday and you don't have inventory and you need to make money for the biggest season of the year, you offer pre-orders and you hope you can make the product with the money that comes in. I feel like this is becoming a PSA, especially small Black-owned businesses lack funding account. And that's not my intention. But every time an issue like the one with Hanifa comes up, we paint the entrepreneur out to be this huge villain, when really they're just doing what they need to do in order to possibly save their business. And mind you, yes, it's a risky decision, but most of the time it works. I've been in that position. Like most of my business model for a very long time, because I did not have the funding to run the business, was to sell the product. I had in-house production, made the product. A couple days later, it goes out the door. That's not the same as selling a product and ordering it from China and hoping it comes in the 8 weeks they promised you. But at the same time, this is literally, if you want to run a business and you don't have funding and it's e-commerce, this is one way that people use to bring in revenue. Now, are customers right to be frustrated, upset? Yes, it sucks when you spend money on something and you don't get what you pay for. But sometimes you interact with businesses and it doesn't go as planned. File a complaint, file a dispute, get your money back, and move on. But all of these pile-on videos painting that particular entrepreneur to be this demon who like stole your money and ran off to Tahiti or something. No, the lady just had a baby. She is right now pausing her life's work. Imagine what that must feel like. And every time she comes online to hear someone saying something bad about her, it's hard.
So, do you what do you guys think about that video? Nomalanga, I'll start with you.
So it definitely explains what happened because I wasn't really understanding what happened. And yeah, that is a business model, even not just for small entrepreneurs, even big entrepreneurs. They literally wait for you to put in the orders before they order what you ordered. So she must have just been unfortunate. And then again, when you don't have the funding or the cushioning, it may just go worse than what you imagined. She did say something about her having a baby, so it sounds like she had a series of life events that also were weighing heavy on her. I mean, my particular business model is I'm very, very particular about the clients that I take on, and they are usually moms like me. They're usually married and they're operating a home business. So we do give each other grace in terms of showing up on time, in terms of delivering and so forth. And we have that understanding. If I even get a whiff of somebody who's demanding and expects things like what they would get at corporate or whatever, I typically refund and say no thank you, because it means you're not really fitting into our tribe, right? So she may just have too broad of a customer base where they don't give her grace, or she didn't set up her customer base's expectations. I tell people, I always say, look, I'm not professional. I'm a mom at home. I offer good service. I offer good this, a good that. If it helps you, great. This is how much it is. If you feel like it doesn't help you, I'm happy to I really am that person who will give you your money back quickly because I don't want the stress. So I set up the expectations for my business model. And for things like sales or whatever, you have to have an assistant. You do have to have something that you're, it's not just you. And it's not contingent on just you. There are things that I know down the line I'll have to even get more people to outsource to, because it shouldn't depend on me. So I can see both sides where I think she may have, you're pregnant for 9 months, so you should be able to plan for when you're not as available as obviously when you're not having a newborn baby. But then at the same time, I think you should have a customer base where they understand, where you set up the right expectations.
I mean, I think that is a good point. I believe before we were online, our executive producer was talking about her brand blew up during COVID, right? So during COVID, people are online, they're shopping, they come across her, they find her. So I don't know how strategic that was, right? A lot of different companies and businesses and brands and people, because everybody's online, blew up. We blow up unexpectedly, right? You're probably just going along doing your business, working your business, and then COVID hits. People are inside, people are shopping. Boom, we see you, we like you, we want to support you. I heard her products were really good. I heard her quality was really good, and things of that nature. And so out of nowhere, you become this brand of choice and preference. And most likely you don't have the proper infrastructure in place if you were going along just minding your business, right? And so when it hits, and your infrastructure or the supply and the demand changes, I think that's where the expectation has to change and communication becomes important, right? Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for supporting me. We've had an immense and massive increase due to your support. I need some time, right? Production is going to change. The speed with which I can get this to you is going to be a little bit different. I know you placed your order here. This is when I can get it to you. How important, Aisha, do you think setting expectations and communication is when things slow down?
Yeah. Just hearing her story just, warms my heart that she actually was able to blow up. But unfortunately, sometimes your hobby, like you say, blow up all of a sudden and you're not prepared. The infrastructure is not in place to handle the demand coming through. But then because you think, oh, I can do this, and you take it on. knowing that you have to have the infrastructure in place. And I'm saying this because I've been in the financial industry for many, many years. Even a massive multi-million-dollar company in Beverly Hills, we actually, like you say, you think ahead. And once you know that there's a problem, you communicate to your clients right away. You call them up right away. You literally stop what you're doing, communicate with them, say, look, there is a delay. ABC is happening, and we are kind of thinking it's going to take longer than we expected, but we appreciate your patience, and you follow through. Because if you don't follow through, then you start having problems. Because it will give you grace. People will give you grace if you attack right away, tell them this is what's happening, communicate. They say over communicate. Just tell them what's going on, so they feel that you care about them, and you're not just disappearing. Especially if they've paid for the product, then they think, what's going on here? So I think that it's just, she blew up so fast. And when you grow that quickly, even in established businesses, it affects you if you're not prepared. So imagine an individual. So I think that they just have to give her grace. It's well, hopefully she'll get through this.
Yeah. I think that, one of the things I talk to my clients about all the time is, even when you're starting a side hustle or a hobby, be thinking about starting it with the end in mind, right? No one could have predicted COVID. I mean, they're right. But the infrastructure piece for entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody who is starting a business, I don't care if it's a side hustle, the infrastructure, how you structure it, how you set it up is super important. The majority of my clients are people who have hit like six figures, like 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000, and they've plateaued. Because I'm not going to say it's easy to get to six figures, but I'm going to say you can look around and hit six figures, but you can't grow and scale if you don't have your infrastructure in place. And so that's where we find people start stalling out at about 100,000, or they start having supply chain issues, or they start having infrastructure issues, or I can't get the product out, or I'm not marketing right, because there's no foundation, there's no infrastructure. So that's super important. Let's go to our next video. Okay, I think so. Maybe not. All right. Well, we'll go to some of the comments in the chat. Deborah said that Hanifa also had
on an indefinite hiatus and pausing all production. In a statement to The Cut, Anifa, the designer and founder of the brand, said, "I don't want to rush to prove resilience. I don't want to pretend everything is fine just to keep momentum." So you might be wondering, like, how did we get here, right? First and foremost, running an independent fashion label, particularly a Black-owned one, is difficult to begin with. Independent designers are up against quite a bit in the industry. In this specific instance, let's go way back to November, okay? Stick with me. The brand hosted this massive sale called Hanifa Friday on Black Friday. It was like 45% off of their garments, right? Some of those garments were pre-order, and it noted that their shipping times might take longer. What ended up happening was, apparently, according to Anifa, delays in manufacturing led to delays in shipping, and what was supposed to be weeks turned into months, and January and February rolled around, and some of the customers had not received their orders yet. Anifa says she sent out some communication to customers, but some of it came out too late, according to her. What ended up happening was kind of this massive discourse machine. First and foremost, people were taking to social media to voice their frustration with how late their orders were, and then it kind of snowballed into something else. People were talking about the fit of the brand, talking about whether they prioritized influencers over the actual customers. And some people, according to Anifa, and honestly from what I saw in a lot of comment sections, were attacking her personal character as well. During all of this, the designer is supposed to be on maternity leave. She gave birth in December, but left maternity leave to come back and kind of do crisis control. As of now, she says all the orders have been fulfilled and those not fulfilled have been refunded. And all that said, she has decided to take a step back from the brand. She said she doesn't really know what's on the horizon, and she doesn't feel like it's going to be a permanent end to the brand, but she wants to take some time away.
I mean, that makes sense. I think it was this last year, or I don't know when this next story actually came out, but there's this skincare line called Ava or something like that I like to order, and it's from London, I believe it is. It's a black owned skincare line, and I placed an order like in November, and in January I'm like, yo, where is my order? And they were like, we're having some shipping issues, and this is what I would say: I love Black folks and I love Black businesses, and I always support. And because of that, I go into it with grace, right? I know that your orders were probably not as much, which means you're ordering a lower quantity, which means my price is probably going to be a little bit higher. I'm going to give you the grace because I know that the Black tax is real, right? The bigger corporations and company are going to get a lower rate because they're buying in bulk. They're buying more pieces. So they're going to get a better price, which is why they can sell it for less. Whereas a lot of times Black businesses or Black business owners are buying products in a smaller quantity, which means that their price is going to be higher and they're going to have to charge more. I get that. I understand that. I'm prepared to do that to support the business. All I ask in return is just a little, little reciprocity. Hey, we had a shipping issue, a manufacturing issue. Your product is going to be late. My apologies. It's looking like it's going to be this date. I will let you know when things change. I'm okay with that, right? 30 days, 3 weeks, whatever it is, just a little communication, and I can work with you. I give that grace. What I don't like, Black, white, Hispanic, otherwise, doesn't matter to me, is when I have to call you or text you or come to you to figure out what is going on. To me, that's the only problem. Like as a business owner, I understand that there's, even not as a business owner, right? Even as a human being, I understand that there could be complications and delays. I understand. I'm watching the news. I know what's going on with the world and terror. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware.
Mhm.
Let me know that this is affecting you and my order. Nomalanga, how do you think that, just based on what we heard about what was going on, how do you think that she could have handled this situation? Do you think she handled it appropriately? Do you think she could handle it differently, or that there were better ways to handle it? What are your thoughts on that?
I think either you or Aisha said it, that the communication piece is the most important thing. When you I mean, even if you had to pop into the website and then there's a banner at the top saying we're currently experiencing blah, 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 you already have your answer. But of course, it works better if it's personalized and she knows who is waiting and has been waiting and so forth. And again, it does sound like a systems issue. You should have some of these things automated, where if you know that an order is supposed to go out in a week, if it doesn't go out, you have an automated message to say, oops, we must be having some problems over here, bear with us and whatever. And then if another week goes by, oops, whatever. Some of these things we learn to automate them. And if we don't know, I personally don't know how to automate, but I can certainly outsource a techie kid who knows how to set it all up and do it. But the key thing, of course, is the communication piece. I can tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I had a coaching cohort of about 15 ladies. I don't really do one-on-one coaching anymore. It's usually a group coaching thing. And we had a series of, sessions and what have you. And I think we're about halfway through the program when I had a family member fall very, very ill. I had to fly out and take care of them. And it ended up like it had to be like a day in, day out issue. And I just emailed everybody and just explained the situation. And then I also said, click here for processing your refund or whatever. Every single woman on that cohort was so sympathetic, compassionate. Even though we did half the program, we've already gotten so much. We've already gotten our money's worth. Don't worry about the refund. And to this day, I never had to refund anybody. But what that came from, again, was because I set up very clear expectations. And then again, I really did select my clients based on what kind of people they were, because it's a small group. And then again, the key thing was, as soon as I could, I communicated and I kept them in the loop about what was happening until I finally said, look, I just can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to issue refunds. And I never had to refund anybody. And even when I recovered and I set up a new program, there were still people saying, "Oh, Lisa, you're back. Great. Let's get it." And again, it was that communication piece, which is just so important. And again, not all money is good money. I always say that not all money is good money. So sometimes you do expand into a market. Yeah, you're getting more money, But then it comes on with a whole bunch of other problems that you didn't bargain for, because those are not your people. And I'm not just talking about race. I'm talking about in general. There's a certain kind of customer base that you want. And sometimes just dropping your prices invites a whole other customer base that come up with a whole set of problems that you didn't have at your normal price point. So it's very important also to just mention that not all money is good money.
Not all money is good money. Good point. Aisha, do you think that social media amplifies customer frustrations? I mean, the thing is, people have been dropping balls since the beginning of time. Customers have been frustrated. People have had order issues. But now, and you know, you send them an email, they send you an email back, and you go back and forth. But now we got social media, maybe, and social media says, if you don't act right, I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna blast you and I'm gonna let everybody else know. And now it becomes like you get jumped because everybody now like that happened to me and that happened to me, and they start tagging folks, and then it becomes like this vicious attack. Publicly, where everybody's jumping on it. And 2 years ago, this happened to me, and you know what I'm saying? Like it just starts rearing this ugly, like this jump on and attack person. The person. Do you think that that's a social media thing that's making it worse, or what are your thoughts?
Yes, Dr. LaNée, I think it's a social media thing because it's so proliferated, right? You can just go like wildfire very easily, very quickly. And it just click, and you hear all this information, and then everybody starts feeling the same thing. Oh, I felt the same way. And before you know, it's amplified to a level where it actually causes that maybe like Hanifa now started having attacked just personally, like, what is this? Now she feels this suffocation that everybody is saying the same thing all at the same time, when really maybe yours was late, but not that late. But because you said that, now everybody said, oh yeah, mine is late too. And then attack her character, which is wrong, because we know how that it will affect you personally. And then she has a baby at the same time, all the hormones going crazy. It's not an excuse, but all those things matter. And social media just amplify to a different level. And then it goes faster and wider in a very short span of time. And then you're
rude. I call them keyboard gangsters.
It's so wrong. And then you're looking at
you call it what?
I call them keyboard gangsters. Like people who get on the internet and get behind their keyboard and act like they real tough and they talk to you crazy. They wouldn't dare say it to you in person or in your face. But people get real bold on the internet.
So, you know, it's just so destructive. And I can only imagine how one person will feel, because she was trying to do something good and everybody wants to be in on it. But now, oh, God forbid something went wrong. The same people now, like wildfire, want to destroy her. You know, it's very unfortunate, but social media is it's like, I feel like it's this place where your life can change in a positive way, but also right next to it can just also derail.
Absolutely. The other thing about social media is it broadcasts your business, your designs, your claim to fame, your interest, the fact that you're getting sales. And so when companies like a Fashion Nova or a Shein sees this, they start stealing your designs. Literally, she's having manufacturing issues and not getting people their clothes in time. Shein and Fashion Nova are stealing her designs, manufacturing them quicker and faster, cheaper, less quality, and getting them out to people. So she's also being stole from. So not only can I not get do what I do and get what I need to get out to people, but now you have these larger corporations that are stealing my designs, putting them together quicker, sooner, faster, and getting them out to people. I think that's a huge issue as well, because I've seen this multiple times. I'm at a place now with clothing from boutiques where I got to run it online to see, is this a real store? Did this article of clothing belong to somebody before? Whose was this? So I think that this is an image of her site and then Fashion Nova's, right?
Wow.
So they're taking her high quality made products and designs and then manufacturing them for making them cheaper and selling them faster.
They didn't even try to change it up a little bit. It was
not
just
at all.
the exact same thing. Wow.
I be seeing folks steal the same picture from somebody else's website and put it up there. Like, at least they had enough sense to put their own model in it. some of these other ones take the whole shebang, like the whole model, and just boop, boop, drop it in there. Okay, let's go to another video. We're going to keep this conversation going. We're going to go to one more video, and then we're going to come back.
In multiple delivery dates and delivery windows that were not honored, multiple emails between customer service that I just keep getting more dates that are not honored. I keep receiving tracking links that lead to nothing. My Hanifa package that I ordered in November, guys, it's February, is still not here. That is insane. I have been following them for years. I'm like, damn, when I come up on some money, I need me some Hanifa. Like, I love the designs. I want to support a Black brand, but this is sick. This is actually sick. I ordered in November. We are in February, and you're going to send me a $30 gift card? Bitch, I'm not purchasing again, actually. Then I saw the owner come on here talking about, I just had a baby. I don't give a damn. I swiped so fast. Okay, good job.
Okay, so let's break this down, because I think that this is what I think is like one of the most important parts of this conversation is, one, we talked about social media, right? The fact that people can get on here and just say what they say, right? And I was about to say, we don't see this happen with other founders. However, the CEO of McDonald's was just online last week, and they drug him through the dirt, taking that little bitty McDonald's bite, right? But for the most part, we don't see people drag the founder, the CEO, the executive team of corporations. However, when you are a founder, you're the face of your business, you're a publicly facing founder of your business, you can be dragged to heaven, right? Like, folks don't play, and don't let you be a Black founder, right? It got real personal in that video. It goes beyond the business. I think when we're talking about it in Black business communities, right? Why do you think mistakes or miscommunication or dropping the ball for Black founders sometimes become a personal attack on that person, Nomalanga? Why do you and is that okay? Is it okay to attack the founder of the business so personally?
So yeah, it's not okay. And when I was watching that video, I was like, gosh, okay, fine, we get it. It took 3 months, but did you have to make a whole video? I think really? Is it really necessary? And apparently a lot of people made videos, but when their Walmart order doesn't come in, they don't make a whole video and drag Walmart about their thing. I can't remember the second part of the question, but one thing I was going to throw in was, although it's not obviously manufacturing or what have you, we've only had a Black couple who came into the president's office in the history of America. And that is the one couple that had zero margin of error. They had to be perfect. And my goodness, they were seamless. They were perfect. But that's the only thing that this country was going to accept. And unfortunately, we can't all be seamless and 100% and whatever it is. So I can't remember the second part of the question.
Is it okay?
But
is it okay to attack a founder in that manner?
No, it's obviously not. But here's the other thing that I know for a fact is that a lot of us deal with a very low self-esteem, and we do tend to project it. Just like Aisha was saying, you walk into a store, you're saying you're supporting a Black business, but you've got this negative dialogue going in right before you go in there. But I always say, anytime you say something negative about Black people, you're not talking about them. You're talking about yourself. And your expectation is about you. So when you look at another Black person and you say, well, I knew they wouldn't get it right, you're talking about yourself, because when you look at other people, you don't have that same opinion. So it's really all about you. And then the destroying part is it's actually because they can relate to that person. They feel reachable, relatable, or whatever it is. Whereas these other big companies, those people are like far away. We can't relate to them. We don't know them and any of that. So we can't even talk about their children or anything like that because we don't even know them,
Yeah.
So that's part of it. And And the last thing I will say is I am now at a stage where I build businesses anonymously, not see my face, if I can. And it started out as an experiment to see, like, okay, if I capitalize on my brand and people who know me, and if I build something where it's just a company and nobody knows whose it is and what have you, what will happen? I do find there's less stress when your face is just not there, and they're not able to attack you, and they're not able. You just don't have the typical thing. And also you can expand your market much more, because when people see a Black face, they assume that only Black people want to buy there, or that the products you're making are only for Black people. But if you're making toilet paper, everybody uses toilet paper, or whatever. There's some products that are just generic. And even though it's a Black person, you want to support a Black business, anybody can buy it. When you do real estate, an apartment's an apartment, as long as it's in a decent neighborhood, nobody cares if it's a Black person or whoever owning it, and your face doesn't need to be on it. So that's some of the things that we have to balance.
You brought up a good point about the Obamas, right? And I think it's larger than that, because we see it at work, right? Even just in corporate America, when a Black man or a Black woman goes to work, we say you got to work twice as hard to get half as far. We see it in just life, right? We always think that the ice is colder in other communities than it is in ours. Like we see it in relationships. Like it's just this cyclical thing that we have in our community that says we have to do more. We have to show up better. We have to show up more. We expect more from us in our business and our presentation. Like all of it becomes more, right?
And unfairly so, LaNée. It's actually unfairly
definitely unfairly so, because we don't hold no one else to the same
privileges. We have no privileges.
The same bar, to the same level of expectation, to the same level of perfection. Like we don't do it for anyone else except for with each other. Literally, that's it. I think we have another video, Aisha. And then I'm going to come to you after we do this next video. I'll come to you and get your question. Okay, I'm going to go to you first. When you see, this negativity, because that's what I call it, right? I call it negativity. I call it blatant. I don't want to say self-hate, because I don't think people recognize or realize.
I think it is.
I mean, I know that that's what it is, but if you talk to somebody who does it, they would disagree. And maybe that's the question that I'm going to ask. How do we get people to understand and see, recognize, hear, take accountability that this is what's happening, that it's self-hate when you walk into an organization or a business that looks like you and expect more, not the same. Like if you walk into a business and it's a business, you should expect certain privileges, certain benefits, certain expectations and responsibilities. You should have those, right? Mm-hmm. It's the more, it's the and some that we do when we go into Black businesses. How do we fix that? Like, what do we do to take that out of how we operate when we're doing business with each other?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's unfair. Like I like what Nomalanga said. It's just when you go anywhere with a negativity, or you already have preconceived notion about everything, it's a reflection on you. Because when you go somewhere, again, yes, there's specific things that's supposed to happen when you go somewhere. You're greeted and you feel appreciated when you come in. But this extra, what does that come from? Is it because you already think that, because the person looks a certain way, you're demanding that they should do this for you? But if you go somewhere else, you don't really, because you don't expect it from them, so you don't even go there, right? So it's just a funny dance people play with that. So, and I also feel this. I agree that if you go anywhere and you're already negative, or you're not being, you just feel like somebody owes you something, it's you. It's not the person, because the person is just there to do their job, or they're just to do the best they can. And then you coming in and not really, again, accepting what is happening and being gracious it just shows that you also have the issue. Because when I go to a restaurant, or it doesn't matter who is behind the counter trying to help me, I'm just focused on what they are trying to do to help me. I'm not focused on whether they go extra or not go extra, because then it's unfair to them, as they're trying to, again, provide to anybody that comes in the best that they can. But for us as a people, I understand why people go a little bit like negative on us. So I remember one time I went to a salon, and the lady that was supposed to do my hair, she was late, right? But she didn't apologize. So I thought that was not kind of cool. She didn't apologize to me. So I was like, okay, I've been waiting for you. You didn't apologize. But I didn't take it personal. I just figured maybe she's upset about something and then let it go. But I can see why people can carry that on and say, well, I'm not going to come back anymore because she didn't even say she was sorry. So it kind of compounds itself. But me as a person, everywhere I go, I give you a chance. I don't go with a preconceived notion, except if you treat me that way, then I'll tell you, hey, what happened? But I won't use that to judge everyone. But that's what we get in this space all the time. Even myself, I get that people treat me, when they come to my store, they look at me and think already that I'm going to give them a bad service because of
But
who I am.
Aisha, if you got the bad service, or she didn't apologize or whatever, you have the choice to leave and not give her your business. You don't have
Correct.
to go online and spend a
And,
week making
and
videos about, well, I went over there and
I
blah
would
blah
never
blah blah.
do
Like,
that. Never,
move
never.
on, get a different salon. I mean, that's what's also just kind of really like irking me. Like, why do we need to go
To
that
be
extra
extra
mile to
for my
destroy and
I
bring
love it.
down?
I think a lot of it today,
never.
I think a lot of the reason why people do it is for virality, right? It's for content. It's to be included in the conversation, to say me too, to get
Yeah.
eyeballs on them. I think that's why people do it today. But I want to go back to the question I originally asked Aisha, which was, what can we do about it? Because that's what I think is the important
That's
conversation.
right.
What
What can we do about it?
And so I'm
That's
thinking that what we do about it is that we give each other the same respect, right? The same respect that you give businesses that don't look like us, give us that one. And what I mean by that is, it's twofold. As a Black entrepreneur, as a Black business owner, I say this and I mean it. We can't just do business with folks because they Black. Like, I make that choice for myself. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt as a Black business
yes.
owner. I'm going to always try to reach out and do business with the Black business first and foremost. I'm never, ever, ever going to say that's what I expected if the service wasn't good. And I'm never, ever going to say, I'm never going to do business with a Black business. And I'm never, ever going to say, this is what I expect from a Black business. Never, ever, ever, ever will those be the things that I say or the things that I do. But also, I'm not going to raise the bar because you're a Black business. So I'm not going to go to you just because you're Black, right? You still got to do good business. So
That's right.
just because I'm looking for a Black business, I'm going to look for a good Black business, right? And when I find that good Black business, I'm not going to raise the bar for you that I don't, and have an expectation from you that I don't have from anybody else. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you more grace than I would anybody else, because I know and I understand what you're dealing with and what you're going through, especially if you're operating in our community, right? I'm going to give you more grace. I'm not going to take the grace from you and then minus it and say, now, put your hand behind your back and do all the work. No, I'm going to say, hey, you got two hands, and I'm going to give you grace for that third one that you don't have. So I think that is some of the things that we can do. Still do business in the Black community, find good businesses, because there's good businesses in our community, just like there are bad businesses in our community, but that's every community, not just ours, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're ready for our next
Can
video.
I ask something real quick, Dr. LaNée? I'm so glad you reminded that final question is, there is a
Black
word
people
that
are continuously searching for excuses on why not to support Black businesses. And the conversation around Hanifa this week proves it. Every time a Black brand reaches a certain level, all of a sudden the standards become Olympic. Now we need perfect customer service, perfect pricing, perfect shipping, perfect fitting, perfect everything, or else we're not worthy. And the truth is, some of you are holding Black brands to standards you don't even hold billion-dollar companies to. Mind you, and these same people will go to a luxury boutique, be ignored, discriminated against, and still post an unboxing. Listen, criticism is normal, but some of you are not critiquing. You're waiting for a Black brand to mess up so you can feel justified in not supporting it, because you never wanted to in the first place. And to take it a step further, then you get online and slander it saying, this is why I never support Black businesses. You shopped for your own personal selfish gain because you liked it, but you were never really down with the movement or progress. And if we're being honest, that conversation has way more to do with mindset than it has to do with business.
Yes.
All right. I like what you're saying, and I am in agreement with her and it. Aisha, you're in the middle of saying something.
There is a Jewish word that says called fargin. Fargin means the community. Like we talk about businesses in our community and how we support them. And he explained how the Jewish people make sure that even if a Jewish person messes up, like you say, if you make a mistake, I know it happens. Rather than go and blast it on social media, people that look like you blasting your business, rather they'll actually find a good time to actually encourage you that, hey, and this, when you did this for me, this is what happened. I hope that you learn from, they'll tell you privately to help you grow so that you can do better. They don't go blasting it, tell the other neighbor. They don't do that. They make sure that they support that business owner to improve, because like you say, when you go to, you have expectation as well. You're paying, you want an experience, but at the same time, if they have a blind spot that you experience, you help them to be better. You don't go out there and blast and bring them down. I just want to share that.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. I think we have to understand the difference between criticism and feedback, right? I always try to give feedback, and sometimes even if it's negative, I'll give feedback. I usually give positive feedback, but sometimes I feel like, okay, I can't let this go. I got to give feedback, and I always try not to criticize, but I do want to tell somebody something that I saw or something that I experienced so that they can self-correct for the next time or the next person. And usually if I give you feedback that's negative and you accept it, I'm going to come back to your establishment. I'm going to come back to your business. You took it, and hopefully have a better experience. But I'm never going to take one bad chance and be like, oh, I'm never going there. Usually I'll go back. And if you do it 2 times, I'm like, okay, this is a pattern with you, right? But I think that that's important, that we give our businesses a chance, a second chance, sometimes even a third. It just that's up to you and your tolerance for how you want to spend your money and how you want to be respected and things of that nature. I can't tell nobody how to spend their money, but me personally, I feel like I'm going to always give a Black business a second chance, a third chance, and I'm never going to blast all Black businesses for the one that you came across that was not good, because I believe that there's more good businesses out there in our community than there are bad. And I'm also going to look at the situation. If she had ran off with folks' money, and you know what I'm saying, like just snatched the purse bag and was out. Okay, if you're having manufacturing issues, you're doing things across the continent, those are operation issues that are out of your control. Just communicate that with me and let me know. Now, our executive producer was saying some things were like a year late, things of that nature. At that point, refund, right? Do not hold somebody's money or package hostage for a year. Once you know that it's been for me, if it gets to be 60 days and you don't have your product, I'm probably going to give you a refund. Right? Like there should just be some operational standards or some things around your infrastructure and how you want to treat your clients and customers that says, I'm not going to hold on to this for a year. But again, operational practices, what do you think, Nomalanga, when it comes to, and we're getting close to our time, what do you think about operations with regards to sending out products, packages, and how customer service can help minimize disdainment, frustration, people going to social media? And even that, I probably would have even put on social media, hey, there are people who go to social media first to say, hey, we're having these issues. This is what's going on. This is where you should have received an email, right? But what are your thoughts?
Definitely, yeah. I'm a big fan of, I've always operated as a solopreneur, like it's just me, but I have so many independent contractors and I outsource so much. And that's something that you could literally outsource. Even the fact that she ran into those problems probably says that she outsourced the manufacturing, and then they let her down. But then even managing the whole situation is something that you should be able to outsource, and it really doesn't cost that much. I find that when you have, especially if it's a small business, if you have, I'm sorry, my battery was running out. If you have a small business and you're running it, you can find students in every department that you're like, you can find a marketing student to do your marketing, so you're not paying full price until you grow to the level where you can actually afford a professional. You can find public relations student, whatever it is, until you find the thing. So I think there was a little bit probably of mismanagement, but you can put systems in place with independent contractors and with outsourcing things. And again, we can't stress this enough: communication. People will understand if you're communicating, but if they feel like there's something shady and they already feel that way without you doing anything, then you're going to have problems.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Aisha?
Yeah, over communicate. If you have to do that, because people want to know what's happening at all the different stages. And if you just keep them in the loop, it will calm them and not feel like, okay, something is wrong. Maybe she's like, yeah, take my money and gone, but she's what's happening, and I'm letting you know what's happening, and I'll keep you abreast. But if I'm in her shoes, customer service wise, after a certain amount of time, I'll just refund. If I already have your money, I'll just refund it. Just to keep everybody calm, I'll just refund the money back to you until we get back on track. And I'll tell you know what? I'll refund your money, but when the item is back on the shelf, I'll let you know. You'll be the first to know. So that way you can have the first dips on, when we restock.
I think that leads to the conversation on business funds, because as you're saying it, in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, but she probably spent the money to order the product. She can't order the product.
That's true.
They're probably not going to give her a refund, which is why she's holding on to it. So this goes back to making sure that you have funds for your business. Don't spend money in your business until you have fulfilled the order. So let that money sit there. But it's hard. But can you? Because if she's operating off of pay to play, that means you have to pay me so that I can place the order. And I used your money to place the order. Now the order's not coming. I'm trying to refund you on money that I already spent. Get a refund on. So there's so much to business operations, business infrastructure, business funding, capital that has to happen, that we have to talk about from the perspective of having a Black-owned business, that because it's easy to be like, just give her a refund, but then where's the refund coming from, right? Yeah. So there's just so much to this conversation, not just this conversation, just having a business and making sure that you have resources and capital and the funds to operate your business in case you have to give a refund that you don't actually get to recoup for the sake of doing right by the customer, right? So let's do our stats real quick. Let's see. The global fashion industry generates over 1.7 trillion annually. Black consumers spend more than 60 billion every year on apparel and footwear in the United States. Let's see. Okay, cool. Black women are among the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs in the country, which we are aware of. Shout out to us. Black founders receive less than 2% of venture capital funding in the United States. Women receive less than 1%. Studies show entrepreneurs experience higher rates of anxiety and burnout than the general population. Hell yeah, we do. For our lives. I always say entrepreneurs is a hard life because you only eat what you catch. If you ain't out here catch nothing, you ain't eating. Like if you only eat what you catch as an entrepreneur, hell yeah, it's stressful. Because if you don't make money, you can't pay your bills. If you don't make money, you can't drive your car. Like you have to be out here working, grinding all the time. I think there's this meme, I think it's Lori from Shark Tank that goes around on social media that says entrepreneurs will leave a 40-hour-a-week job to work an 80-hour-a-week business. Like for real. Like we're gonna leave this 40-hour-a-week job where we know we're gonna get paid our money to go out here on a hope and a prayer, work twice as hard to hopefully break even, right? But it's
and make half as much.
But the freedom the
Yes.
lifestyle, the quality of life, the anxiety that comes down, the pressures that come down, and then depending on the business that you have, the impact that you make, it's all worth it to me.
Worth it. It's worth it.
Anonymous, talk about the Fearless Fund. Damn it. So the Fearless Fund. So the Fearless Fund is this fund that was started by Black women. He says Atlanta. I can't remember where it was, but it could very well been Atlanta. And they were helping specifically Black women entrepreneurs. And this was a year or two ago, within the last 2 to 3 years. And what had happened was some of the clear people came and said, you can't do that. They reversed racism them and said, you can't say that you have a fund that's only for these people. That's unconstitutional. You're being racist. So they reverse racism them. And Anonymous help me out. I believe they stopped their fund or they had to pause their fund. And I can't remember if they have to shut it down or what. I can't remember the true outcome of it, but I know they paused the fund. I know those folks made such a stink that the money that was supposed to get out to these Black women, these Black businesses did not. Anonymous says they stopped it. Yeah, so they stopped it. I'll go one step further. I just went through the Goldman Sachs program that's specifically for Black women. It's called Black Women in Business. Goldman Sachs, 1 million Black women in business. And my cohort, which was the 8th cohort, was the first cohort to have a man in it because they can't specifically say only Black women. They can say our target is, they could say this is who we want to help, but you cannot just say Black women because it's discriminating to others. So a lot of these languages are starting to change for the sake of reverse racism to say you can't only invest in Black women, you have to invest in, so yeah. So there's that. All right. Final thoughts. Let me see. I want to make it impactful. What advice would you give to a Black entrepreneur? It doesn't have to be a Black woman entrepreneur, but let's say a Black entrepreneur. I will hit the Women's History Month fact. I will. What advice would you give to a Black entrepreneur who's looking to start a business today? I'll start with you, Nomalanga. You're on pause if you're getting ready. Mute.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Just one thing. What's one thing you would give them?
One piece of advice. I would say if you have a job, keep your job for as long as you can while you're running your business on the side so that your job can help cushion you. Because statistically, a lot of our businesses go out of business because of cash flow issues, because we're, again, the ones that are the least funded or just generally not funded. So cash flow is king, regardless of race, regardless of everybody. So keep your job if you have a job. And let your job be the cushion so that it finances and catches a few things until you've really, really stabilized and you've put away enough for 2 years of living expenses. And you can project that if sales went down, you'd be okay for at least a year. And I think, and there's more than one thing, I'll just ramble them because they're coming to me. I think a lot of times that one of the things that we do with businesses, we're so excited that we get impatient. And then you're quick to jump off your job and then you've jumped off a cliff. So if you have another good source of income, don't give it up. Do your best to, juggle it as long as you can while it finances your new baby until that baby is not really a baby anymore. Those are my last thoughts. So my name is Nomalanga. You can find me on Facebook under Nomalanga Gaborone. You can find me on Instagram as Ms. Nomalanga. And please do support our charity in Botswana. We founded this charity some years ago to help young girls who are in school and sometimes miss school because of period poverty. They literally don't have sanitary supplies, so they don't go to school when they're on their period. Any amount counts. Please go to padsforourgirls.com. Even the littlest amount goes a long way. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Aisha, same question for you.
One thing, so many things to say, but one thing I would say is if you're going into loan mentorship, You need a mentor to guide you through the steps. Mentorship is so important. It's the shortcut between making all the mistakes and at least sailing through, to the other side. So that is what I would definitely encourage anybody starting a business. Get a mentor that has walked that path to guide you so that you don't have so many blind spots that you didn't expect. And where can you find me? The Black Business School. I'm a coach there. And also www.aishaverzi.com. And tomorrow, Tara and I are going to be talking about insurance. So hopefully, actually on Thursday about insurance, see how they can protect you, whether it's a business or personally. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So for me, it's going to be real simple strategy. Like the one thing that I see with Black entrepreneurs and Black businesses time and time again, and it's not just us. Let me say that. It's not just us. I'm working with a $10 million company right now who got the $10 million with no strategy. Like, it's not just us. What happens is when you first start your business, you're trying to make money. So you go out to start the business, you're going to get the domain, you're going to start selling, and you're going to start doing all the things. But a lot of times we don't have business acumen. We don't know somebody that's doing business. We don't have a business coach. And so we just start doing our best. And if you do your best long enough, hopefully you're going to get a break. And when you get that break, your business is going to go into the next level. But if you don't have infrastructure, it's going to break. And it doesn't matter if it's breaking out 100,000, a million, or 10 million. If there is no strategy, if there is no infrastructure, if you do not know what you do, how you do it, who you serve, how you're going to get the manufacturing, what your business model is, if you don't know those things, there will come a point in time in your business where it's going to break. It's inevitable. It happens to everybody, not just Black businesses, Hispanic businesses, white businesses. It's just the law of nature. It's the law of science. If you don't have a strategy and you don't know how your business is going to operate, it's going to break. That's literally the one piece of advice I could give somebody. It's the reason why I have a job, because I'm working with businesses all the time. And again, from 10,000 to 10 million, doesn't matter. There's going to come a time. So do it earlier. Do it as soon as possible, right? And so that's what I would say. That's what I would tell any entrepreneur, business owner getting started. Sit down and do your strategy. Figure out who you're going to serve and how you're going to serve them. I'm Dr. LaNée Javette. What do you know? I am a brilliant brand strategist. I help business, specifically Black-owned businesses, service-based businesses, to brand their brilliance and to create a business that helps you have insight and income. So you can reach me at thebrilliantstrategist.com. This is Women's History Month, okay? Our fact for today is fashion designer Zelda Wynn Valdez opened one of the first Black-owned fashion boutiques in New York City in the 1940s. She designed clothing for Josephine Baker, Eartha Kitt, and the Dorothy Dandridge, and later created the original Playboy bunny costume. I did not know that. Her work helped pave the way for Black women in the fashion industry long before diversity became part of the conversation. Shout out to Ms. Zelda Wynn Valdez. Oh, that's good. Ouch. As we leave, running a business in public means people will have opinions, especially when something goes wrong. Anifa acknowledged mistakes and took responsibility for what could have been handled better, but she also spoke honestly about how quickly criticism can become personal and how heavy that can feel when you are the face of the brand. Her message reminded a lot of people that businesses are run by human beings who are learning and growing in real time. It also raised the real point about the pressure of the Black women face as the founder and the owner of their business. Go out this week, you guys. Support women, support Black women, support Black entrepreneurs, support Black men, support Black people, right? And thank you for joining us here on Fly Nubian Money. I myself, Dr. LaNée Javette, Aisha Verzi, Nomalanga. Nomalanga. I'll have to let her say her own last name. But we appreciate you guys tuning in every Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern for Fly Nubian Money. You can see us here every week. If you missed us here, you can go back and watch the replay on YouTube or check us out on Spotify. If you'd like to get notified when we go live, you can text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948 and you will get notified. And to those of you that tune in and watch us every day, thank you so much for those of you in the chat who watch us religiously, who share, who subscribe, who talk back to us, or we appreciate you. Go out and have a blessed day. Stay Black and be one. We'll see you tomorrow.